All right, we cleaned up a little bit after our time on the track. Um, eh. I have never had a desire to get into any kind of political discussion. When I say political discussion, what I mean is any kind of elected official business. I have always worked within my personal allotted budget, which, as I've explained to you several times, when you come from the Indian diaspora, you think they don't tip when they go out? Imagine 24/7 lifestyle of defending every expense you've ever needed. And it's like it's such a treadmill we live on. We're not even allowed to live life because we are constantly filling out paperwork for nonsense. Now, I was on YouTube and I was watching this fellow, Alderman Jim Gardner, talk about how gambling disproportionately affects black and brown communities or something or other. Okay. Your personal vices are none of my concern. Okay? Is gambling the wisest use of your wages after you worked all day for it? I don't think so. And frankly, I don't think the journalists in Chicago talking about Michael Jordan's gambling habit did our city any favors. And I think the media has promoted gambling as a vice for decades. So if you want to gamble, be my guest. I have no issue with you going and throwing all your money away on slot machines or dice games or whatever you people want to do. I don't want to spend my money that way because I don't have enough of it to go around. I can find plenty of ways to use capital if I'm given it. The last thing I need to do is put it into a machine that is guaranteed to take it away. But isn't living in white America also gambling? Jim Gardner? Isn't it gambling to ask for you people to have a conscience? The only time you give a shit about anybody other than yourself is when your pockets start to get a little bit lighter. Then, just like white pastors, when Black Death increases, or decreases resale value of a home, maybe, or something, some financial cost is affected downtown, or in Lake Forest, or in Gilbert's, or in some suburb. I was going to train at a gym in Algonquin on a Saturday morning, and police presence was there. Because of little old me. And what, pray tell, is in my history that demands police presence? But when I ask for the 911 call for the murder of my mother, outside of Planet Fitness, where's the police presence then? Now, British 21 Savage, like Idris Elba on The Wire, is saying that the streets are dead. The streets are not dead. The streets are not dead until I say they are dead. I decide when the streets are dead. Not 21 Savage. Or whoever his puppeteer is. We are able to balance both pushaisti and quarter zips. The culture is well capable of doing that. And families have been living off of bare minimum SNAP budgets for decades. I don't want to know the ins and outs of whatever city council things are going on. I don't ever want to attend a city council meeting. I've never voted. And all I have to look at is my own life experience. Who could I vote for to change my current situation? I said no to a model minority life, and America has responded to me. How can I vote out of that predicament? Let me guess. Alderman Gardner. Go back where I came from, right? Let me guess. Your dad came to this country with $8 in his pocket. Why can't I, right? You're Irish, right? And you care so much about black and brown communities. As long as the fire department has subsidies for your community. You people are getting on my fucking nerves. George Stevenson will be just fine if I leave this earth. And his reputation will not be smeared if anything negative happens to my reputation. His place is cemented in heaven. And I don't need to have a big farce at any town hall to get my point across. I could fix this city in 30 minutes, remove every Jew from leadership. Done! You Irish and Italians can keep your neighborhoods and whatever you have. And I don't think the black community would have an issue with that. Neither would the Mexicans or Puerto Ricans. Then we could do our broken glass initiative and clean up these streets. And we could have it done by Memorial Day, when the news media outlets like to talk about shootings in black neighborhoods. What did you say on Memorial Day last year, Jim? Did you say anything to the news media outlets that constantly provoke this type of violence? Did you say anything to the Jewish record label executives that continue to pump poison into our children's ears? Did you say anything to Rahm Emanuel when he was closing down elementary schools in rival gang neighborhoods? I don't want to hear how much you care when there's a few pennies coming out of the interest in your brokerage account. And frankly, white words of affirmation mean absolutely nothing to me. You white boys love to go with your beards, your Delta Force fucking beards, and go on Tucker Carlson and talk about elk hunting and how well your children know the constitutional rights. until it's time for due process for someone else, or until it's time to talk to the correctional facilities about the 13th Amendment. Michael Jordan, are you still invested in the prisons? And you want us to fight for your NASCAR? Because of black ownership? I am sick of you Jew house niggers. You just wait. My body is this close. I'm as far away from a Jew as you can be on this earth. And there will be no judgment day until I receive what is owed to me. And if Brandon Johnson wants to tax me after the fact, I will pay him myself directly. But until you're willing to defend Texas movement as much as you're willing to defend the interest rate of your own brokerage account, I don't want to hear shit about your words of affirmation or how much you care or don't care about gambling's effect on the morale or the character of our community. We're only a community when you need something. We were a community long before that. Ask the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the streets today, you stay in the streets. And you make money in the streets. And don't you dare pay income tax until you get what is owed you. It's a voluntary thing anyway. If you want to keep fucking with me, I will fuck with you back. And I don't need a Harvard degree to do it. Or an asset management team. Anybody can get it.